Nonfiction Unit, Finding the Main Idea. Today we will be learning about identifying the main idea. Good readers can identify the main idea in a text. The main idea is what the text is mostly about. It is important to know the main idea for summarizing and retelling. Finding the main idea helps us understand the topic. So you want to ask yourself, what is the passage mostly about? Maybe look at the title or an important detail. Think about which details best support the main idea. There are different keywords that you can look out for as you are identifying the main idea. You can look for words and phrases like mostly about, another title, important details, unimportant details, best describes, main purpose, lesson learned. You can also use graphic organizers, as you can see on the bottom, to help organize and identify the main idea and supporting details. How do I find the main idea while reading? You want to read the text. The first and the last sentence usually have the most important information. You want to ask yourself who, what, when, where, and why. These questions will help you identify not only the main idea, but supporting details as well. You can look for those key words that I mentioned on the last slide, as well as use subheadings to help you understand the main idea. When you're retelling a nonfiction text and summarizing the main idea, you always want to be sure to use your own words. How do I find the main idea while reading? Before reading, you want to look at the title, use nonfiction text features such as headings, subheadings, glossary, graphs, maps, bullet notes, highlighted words, bolded words, all of those different nonfiction text features. And you want to ask yourself, what is this text mainly about? During reading, you want to pay attention to the headings and subheadings and closely read the topic and closing sentences of the paragraph and text. You also want to look out for repeated words, information, and ideas. After reading, you want to think, what is the most important idea? What was the author trying to convey to the reader? How does the author feel about the idea or the topic? What did you mainly read about, or what did you mainly learn? Finding the main idea. As we've been learning about, the main idea is what the passage is mostly about. It sums up the story or text. Sometimes the main idea is stated. Sometimes the main idea is implied. Determine the main idea by combining the supporting details, then express the main idea as a simple summary of the information from the passage. An example of this would be an article about the solar system and planets. The main idea of that passage would be the solar system, but supporting details would be what you learned about all the different planets. Tips you can ask yourself. You want to think about the big picture. Reread the first and last sentence. Look for repetition of ideas. You also want to ask yourself, what is being said about the topic? What is the author trying to make? What point is the author trying to make? The main idea is the most important idea a writer makes in a paragraph or passage. Sometimes the main idea is clearly stated in a sentence at the beginning, middle, or end of a paragraph or passage. Sometimes the main idea is not stated, it is implied, which means you might have to infer what the main idea is. To determine the main idea, readers must combine supporting details. Remember, the main idea tells the author's point about the topic, and the details offer support for the main idea. Tips for understanding and finding the main idea. Number 1, read the entire section. Number 2, reread the first and the last sentence of the passage or paragraph. Number 3, while reading, ask yourself, what point is the author trying to make? And number 4, review the title.